It's 4th of July here in the States, and you know what that means. It's time to celebrate our independence and honor Russell Cass, who saved us from an alien invasion.
I'm back!
I plan on having fireworks, hot dogs on the grill, and of course, horror movies. Every holiday has its share of horror flicks, so it's only fitting that Independence Day has one too. There's a few movies to choose from, but none hit the nail on the head quite like Uncle Sam. First, a little backstory. In 1988, Larry Cohen and William Lustig teamed up to make Maniac Cop, which had some pretty good success, and I'll have to review it someday. They tried to repeat that formula with Uncle Sam, except instead of a cop, it's a soldier, aptly named Sam. To start things off, I just have to mention the opening credits. Stars and Stripes Forever being played over old patriotic clips, it really fits the movie, and feels like something the guys on Mystery Science Theater 3000 would riff as a short.
Oops, sorry, Dad.
Anyway, to get things started, we have to have a motive for Sam to be so ticked off he wants to kill people. The first place we see him is in a fallen helicopter.
Sam Harper.
Which apparently was shot down by friendly fire, killing everyone on board. Now, back in the States, we meet Jody and Sally Baker. Sally is Sam's sister, so that would mean Jody has an Uncle Sam. Clever. Next, we meet Sam's wife, or ex-wife. It's hard to tell. She definitely doesn't have feelings for him anymore, as we see she's making out with this cop. But as she heads inside, Sergeant Twinning informs her of her husband's untimely demise.
It's about your husband.
We see Jody's obsession with the military and with his uncle. He likes to read comic books and play war with his toys. Fun fact, I had that same Destro action figure as a kid. Louise informs her sister-in-law of Sam's death, and they both honestly aren't that upset. Apparently, Sam wasn't a very good guy. He was abusive and just joined the military because he wanted to kill. Jeez, my goodness. Even so, Jody doesn't see this side of his uncle just yet. He looks up to him, wanting to be just like him someday. His body's taken to Sally's house, where we soon have the funeral, and we meet Sergeant Jed Crowley, played by Chef himself, Isaac Hayes.
Hello there, children!
Chef!
He served with Sam in the military and is here to pay his respects. Outside, him and Jody get to talking, and Jody makes it clear he wants to join the military. But Jed warns him to stay out. He says, today, wars are different. No one knows who they're fighting, and he feels like it's all worthless. However, this doesn't seem to persuade Jody at all.
Forget about killing.
Somebody's gotta be soldiers.
On the 4th of July, right on the stroke of midnight, Sam wakes up. And his first kill? This guy on stilts. It's actually pretty funny to see a guy getting chased through the park on stilts.
Stop following me.
Well, at least this explains where he gets his Uncle Sam getup. A few more people are killed in creative ways, but the real excitement happens in the morning. The whole town's gathered for an Independence Day party, including Jody's friend, Barry, who apparently had an incident last year with some fireworks. Some of the kids played a prank on him that left him blind and all burned up. It's actually pretty sad for a B horror movie. Uncle Sam's there and promises Barry to avenge him and kill all of those who were responsible for the accident. And he does, going around killing everyone. Even Abe Lincoln isn't spared. Then there's these kids having a potato sack race, which I have to say is more like a marathon. How many miles do these kids have to jump around for? Well, just like Michael Myers, Uncle Sam stalks this kid and eventually lobs his head off. It all accumulates to a big fireworks show. Congressman Cumming, played by Robert Forrester, is there to win a few votes. But instead, it's gonna cost him his life, as he's tied up and Sam starts the show. Fireworks exploding all around him until the grand finale, which finishes him off. After that spectacle, Jody helps get his friend out of there, and that's when Barry informs him he knows who the killer is. It's Sam!
My Uncle Sam?
And in the back of his head, I think Jody kinda knew it too. Switching from idolizing Sam to a real hero, Chef, Jed.
Let's get the hell out of here.
I'm sorry, it's just so weird hearing Chef's voice and not seeing him with an apron on. They team up, fighting the zombie, which at first doesn't go so well. But then they get the idea to use a freaking cannon to take him out, which that seems to do the trick. I think it's pretty obvious the entire theme of the movie. It's clocks. Look inside Sally's house. There isn't a single shot that doesn't have at least 2 clocks in the background. Why is it so important to know what time it is? Even when they show Uncle Sam without his mask for the first time, there's a clock. In all seriousness, I went into this movie expecting a patriotic, military-loving movie. I was surprised to see a soldier portrayed in a bad light. That would never happen nowadays. If anything, it kind of explained why people flee the country during times of war. For example, Jody's teacher said he didn't want to fight in a war he didn't believe in, Vietnam, so he ran. And Jody says that his uncle would have called him a coward.
My Uncle Sam said you guys were cowards.
Kind of a harsh thing to say to your teacher, don't you think? I do like how the main antagonist's name is Sam. It's silly to think about, but I'm sure there are thousands of Uncle Sams out there. It's just an uncle whose name happens to be Sam. There's also some pretty heavy themes going on. Barry, who's just a kid, was all burned up and blind. His parents only took him to the party to make the kids who did this to him feel bad. Which, they should, but still, a boy's life was ruined by an accident. It's not even real and I feel bad for the kid. Also, Sam being abusive can hit home for people too. I know not everyone who joins the military is like Sam. I want to be clear on that. But Sally said that when she heard Sam was getting married, she was relieved because now he would have another woman to hit. That's messed up. Louise isn't totally off the hook either because Sam was overseas and she was over here making out with the local cops. Something that I'm sure happens all the time when husbands are deployed. I think it's time for a sequel for Uncle Sam, where he comes back to life every 4th of July, but each year he's more and more haggard. Like now he comes back with a big cannonball-shaped hole in his stomach, like in Death Becomes Her.
I have a hole in my stomach!
As for Uncle Sam, this one's only for the die-hard B-movie bunch. It has some goofy moments, like the guy on stilts, and I think Isaac Hayes did a really good job. But the movie just doesn't know what it wants to be. There's no tension, and it's schlocky as all get out, but then it tries to be serious at the same time. I give Uncle Sam 2 Destros out of 4.